Nika, before I get home this afternoon, I'd like you to have the whole house cleaned up. I noticed that in the bathtub there was some mold forming as well. So I'd like for you to have that all bleached and ready to go as well by the time I'm home.
Sorry about that. I'll make sure to get all that mold out of there today. But I'm sure if I clean right now, things will only start to get dirty again.
Why would that happen?
Well, the kids are playing a lot during the day and it'll lead to things getting all messy again. No matter how often I clean up after them, things just go back to being messy again within an hour.
And cleaning all that mess up is your job, right?
I can clean all I want, but things aren't going to change just from me cleaning. The moment I clean, things just become a mess again.
Then how about you tell the kids to stop making such a mess all the time? You're being too kind to those two. Kay is 5 years old now, and Kyle is 3, right? They're at the age now where you can tell them to stop making a mess and they'll understand that.
I understand that they're both getting older. Kay might listen to me, but a 3-year-old like Kyle most definitely will not. The moment I try telling him to stop doing something, he'll think that I'm just being loud and won't understand that all I want is to keep things tidy is all.
Well, if you make him cry, then I'm sure he'll listen to you then. I think you're being too kind to those two when you need to be putting your foot down. You and I are their parents. You yell at them to do the right things, and if they don't listen to you, then you ground them.
I can't just go and yell at them like that. There are times where they might even start to cry over things like that outside.
Well, you can't be worried about that. You just need to ignore all their whining and crying and let them learn that we will not be swayed by it. And who cares if they want to cry outside?
I just don't want other people thinking anything's wrong here. And leaving our kids outside crying like that isn't a good look for either of us as parents. The number one worst thing you can do to a child is both yell at them and then ignore how they react to that.
Kyle is only 3 years old. He won't care that you're ignoring him after being yelled at. He'll forget about it all later.
This isn't about him forgetting it all or not. He has a heart, and so does Kay.
Well, if you're gonna keep acting like you have no way of putting them in line, then you're just gonna have to deal with them both doing as they please around you. I just want to make sure you have the house clean by the time I'm home. I'm tired after having to work every day of the week. Yet recently, there have been plenty of days where I have to come home to a dirty house, and there not being any food on the table yet. If you don't start to get all those things done, then I'm gonna get really upset.
I'm sorry.
All the wives around me seem to be doing everything properly. I was shown by one of my coworkers the room that his wife has cleaned up for him in his house. Their place looks amazing and beautiful every day that he gets home from work. I'm talking about Carson's wife, by the way. They happen to have a kid and a cat as well, yet the house is amazingly well kept. Isn't that wonderful? Yet look at the house I have. 2 kids always making messes. And you never being around to clean any of it up on time. I have no idea why you can't do even the most simple of things like those other wives can.
I am trying my best right now.
And you trying your best is only worth half of what a wife can normally do. What the hell are you doing all day? I mean, you're at the house all day long, aren't you? I bet you just sit around and nap all day, right?
I'm not. I'm trying my hardest over here to keep this place in check.
Then this must mean you're just not cut out to be a housewife like the rest of the women in this town. Ugh. I wish I would have found myself a better woman to marry.
Please don't say something like that. Right now, I have Kay going to preschool for half the day, and come next year, I can get both her and Kyle to go. As of right now, having kids in the house and a list of chores as big as long as you've asked me for, it's not always easy handling both of these things at the same time.
And I'm telling you that all those other wives are doing it. How many times are you going to have me say this? You really are no good. Well, whatever. My break is almost over now, so there's nothing left that I can say now. I just want the house cleaned up today by the time I get home. If you can't do that for me today, then you really will no longer be considered a human in my house.
Baylor? Since when did you leave the house? If you're going to leave the house, please let me know. I was going to ask that you take care of the kids for a little bit today.
Huh? I had the day off work today.
Well, I understand that. Hence why I wanted you to take care of them for me today. Since when was the last time you took them to play with them? That's why I was talking with you about how on your next day off, you should take them somewhere to go and play with you, right?
That was something you were hoping for. I never said I cared about it. Stop trying to make everything about you, all right? I happen to have plans of my own going on.
I was never going to ask you to take any of the chores, but you should at least be helping me out with the kids, Baylor. I think that these past few months you haven't been doing a good enough job of being their father.
The reason for that is because both the chores and taking care of the kids is the housewife's job, right? Who is it that's allowing you to live such a nice life again?
I am very thankful that you're making the money that allows our family to live happily. But it's not just because of you that we all get to have this life, right? I've been the one doing all the chores and taking care of our kids, and that's led us all being happy and healthy as well. You're not thankful for any of that?
What are you going on about? In this world, you are worth nothing to those of us that actually contribute something to society.
You're saying I'm worth nothing to you then?
That's right. What the hell has a housewife like you done? You think by just sitting around the house all day you're making money?
I happen to think that being a housewife is a very important job. We don't get to take breaks and work 24/7 to make sure everything around the house is going well.
You really think that's a good enough reason for being deemed important? Well, look, you do get breaks, right? You're sleeping at night, and you have time during the day to just sit around. I would really like you to stop comparing yourself to those of us that actually have to work our butts off in the real world, okay?
But when I go to sleep, there are always times that I need to wake up and tend to whatever the kids want from us.
You're sleeping perfectly fine, Anika. So tell me, what was that again? You have to wake up at night to help the kids? I don't think an excuse like that is gonna cut it for someone who doesn't work. To everyone looking at you from the outside, your hard work is nothing more than child's play.
You really don't have to talk about what I do like that.
If I don't tell you how it is, then you'll never understand. Listen, if you actually want me to listen to you, then get a job and make some money for once. Show me that you're not a total waste of my time.
I'm already having to care for our kids all by myself, Baylor. How am I supposed to get a job when I have to care for them? If I find a job, then I'll need someone to watch after Kyle for part of the day. Can't you understand that right now I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place?
Well, if you're stuck, then you shut up and do as you've been told. Take care of the chores of the kids. That's all you're good for. You don't want me having to throw you out of this house, right? You wouldn't want to have to take those two with you and give them a life of poverty, right?
You're telling me that you'd throw both our kids out along with me.
Well, if you want to leave, I don't see why they wouldn't go along with you. Honestly, getting rid of the three of you would make me very lucky.
I see. You really have changed from the Baylor I once knew. Or perhaps this is how you've always been and I was just blinded by love.
What are you talking about now? This is all because you keep running your mouth about things you have no idea about, right? If you just shut up and do what you're supposed to do, then I'd never complain.
All right. I won't bother you about anything else now.
Doing that for me would be a huge help. I'm the one that's using my time and energy to keep you three around, after all. And that also means I don't want you forgetting that I could throw you three away whenever I'd like.
Baylor, I'm taking the kids with me and leaving, and we will not be coming back here.
Huh? You're all leaving? What are you talking about?
I cannot live with you any longer. You never do any of the chores or care for our kids, and you just go out and do whatever you like instead. And when the house is just a little bit messy, you throw a fit like the rest of the world is going to end because of it. If you are so upset by the house being messy, then you help clean it up instead of being a witch all the time.
Taking care of the house is your job, though, right? I'm not making you do everything there. You just hate having to work is all.
I did not marry you to become your slave, Baylor. I don't need a husband like you, and the kids don't need a father like you. I really think that after today, you'll find a way to fix the monster you've become. I want you to learn just how nice of a wife I was for you after I'm gone.
You? Why are you throwing a fit now? Don't think that a woman like you with no merit can start speaking her mind like that. It's your job to take care of the kids and the house. You're a housewife, after all. You can start to complain when you get a job, you idiot.
I am working, and that's why I've been complaining. So would you stop being a frickin' dick to me now? I have been working a job for months now, Baylor. When you started to call me useless and all that, I went and found myself a job. You told me you'd never listen to me unless I had myself a job, and so that's what I did.
There's no way you're working a job right now. You told me because you have Kyle in the house half the day, you can't go out to work, right?
I did say that, and that's why I got myself a job working remotely. Of course, I can't care for Kyle all the time while working, so I have my mom come during the day to help out.
I never heard anything about this!
That's because I never told you.
What the hell are you doing hiding things like that from me? Why did you decide to get a job without asking? What do you think you're doing running away from my support?
I want to get away from relying on you, and that's why I got this job. I want to get a divorce from you.
A divorce? What kind of bullcrap is that? You think because you work remotely now you can take care of 2 kids on your own? I'm sure you're just making pocket change with that kind of job, right?
Not at all. Right now, I'm making $2,500 a month with this work. That's enough to get you to shut up, right? Of course, there will also be the child support coming from you for these 2 every month as well. I will be going back to my parents' house for a while, so by having them help me out, I'll have even more time to work and will be making even more money.
Hey, are you really working right now?
That's what I've been telling you. I don't need you to take care of me anymore. I'm taking the kids and leaving this hell. You're not going to complain about that though, right? You said that by having the 3 of us leave, you'd be lucky, right?
Wait, I'll come home early today. We could take a moment to talk about all of this in person.
You want to talk about things now after learning that this divorce is going to happen? Talking this all over isn't going to change things for you now. I'm going back to my parents' house now. I want out of this place as soon as freaking possible, all right? So give it up and be happy with the luck you had today.
Anika, wait! I'll come home right now. I'm asking you to please wait for me!
Baylor, have you finished signing all that paperwork for me? I have a lot of things to do myself after you're done, so would you please hurry that up and hand it in for me?
Anika, are you really not coming back here?
I asked if you signed those papers or not, Baylor. If you don't get that taken care of soon, I'll have this brought to the courthouse and let my lawyer handle you instead. Is that what you want? That'll all be a lot more trouble for you than it's worth. After all, you were so lucky to have this happen to you.
Anika, please come back. I've made some mistakes.
Too late for that crap, mister. How many years was it that you had me doing all the chores in the house and taking care of both kids on my own? You never once came home to do anything with them for me. And when you found even the tiniest speck of food on the ground or a toy too far away from the kids' play area, you flipped out. And those last few weeks, you went off on me about how I'm nothing to this society and I'm useless.
I want to take all that back. I know now that it's because you were there for me that I got to live a happy life. I was taking advantage of you.
You sure as hell were, you bastard. Always leaving your socks on the floor, and you would never clean up your dishes after you ate. After shaving, you just leave the sink a mess, and after blowing your nose, you just leave your tissue on the counter. You'd make me pay for all the cleaning supplies, and when you were done in the shower, you just leave your towel and dirty clothing on the floor. Which is screwed up considering even the 3-year-old knows how to put his clothing in the laundry hamper for me after a bath. You were the one making your own dang house a mess that whole time.
I'm home to me already. This past week, nobody's been home to clean for me and my allergies have gone wild.
Then clean the freaking place yourself, asshole.
But I'm tired when I get home from work. After eating something for dinner, I don't have any time.
Well, everyone I know who lives on their own is able to clean up their own place after working. Oh, that's right. You never lived on your own because you never left your parents' house, did you? You had your mom do everything for you because you were useless.
This place is a mess, and all I've been eating is TV dinner, so my stomach is a mess as well. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a cold now, too.
Good. And what do you want me to do about all that? You're an adult now, so you handle that yourself. I can't believe your whole life is crashing down around you now, considering nothing ever changed in your life. I mean, I'm worthless to this world, so me leaving with the kids shouldn't have affected you this badly, right?
Please don't pick on me like that now. From now on, I'll work on being a better husband. I'll help with all the chores and raising the kids. So would you please just come home?
Helping with the chores is one thing, but the fact that you're offering to help me raise your dang kids really pisses me off. You were the one that got me pregnant with them. But who cares about all that anyway now? It's not like you were helping out with them would benefit me any. Do you even know how to play with kids?
I do. I can help with them. As long as you teach me what to do, I'll do it.
You need me to teach you how to raise your own kids? Are you not even able to make up games to play with them in your own head? You want to know how I handle all this when I didn't know what to do? I used technology and I looked it all up. You seem to even be more stupid than a housewife like me was.
Don't say things like that.
You said crap like that to me, you frickin' asshole. You're an idiot.
I'm sorry.
Bull. You never did a frickin' thing for this family besides work a 9 to 5, and yet you were the only one allowed to talk. I can't believe I made it as far as I did with you without ever taking you off the face of this planet. It would have been one thing had I just had to do all the chores, but I was tasked with doing all the chores and raising 2 kids all day and night. Do you have any idea how tough that all was?
I never thought doing chores could be that difficult. I had no other choice at the time, right? I had never lived on my own before, so I never had to clean myself.
Don't you freaking dare use that as an excuse. I have been asking you forever to help me out, and yet you never once listened to me and came to my aid.
Because I didn't think you were really being that serious then.
I'm kind of glad you never knew how to do anything at home. Had you known how hard things like chores were, you might have started to thank me for my work and I would have only tried harder. But you just assumed that it was my job to do everything in the house for you. And when one thing was out of line, you went haywire, right?
I had just been wanting you to try a little harder at the time.
I was trying my hardest, dang it! But even with all my effort, you still felt as though you could treat me like a slave and compare me to all those other families who are doing better than us. It made me sad the way you compared me to all of them. I was trying my hardest in order to make both you and the kids happy. Yet you told me I was useless and didn't even mean anything to you.
I'm so sorry about that.
Stop freaking apologizing to me, you idiot! You're supposed to be happy about me taking the kids and leaving you.
I finally started to understand how hard you work for me. Yet, even though I'm now starting to realize your importance to me, you want a divorce? That's so hurtful of you.
Huh? Shut the hell up, you big hypocrite! You said that you would be lucky if I took the kids and left you, so here you freaking go. And I'm not coming back to you now because that would only make you upset again.
I only said that because I was a little pissed off at the time. That wasn't really what I wanted to say.
Whether it was what you wanted to say or not, you hurt me really badly then. You made me think to myself just how stupid I've been for staying married to you and working my life away to try to make you happy. After all the crap you've put me through, don't expect me to ever come back to you ever again.
Anika, I'm really sorry.
Stop it!
I'll change though. I'll become a good husband and a good father. I won't make you take care of everything on your own anymore.
Those words. You told me all those things back when I just had Kay.
What? No way. I really mean all of this now. Starting now, I'm never going to break this promise to you.
Stop, Baylor. You really have my blood boiling now. I don't care that you want me back now. You're only putting on that sad, pouty face in order to get me to come home to you because you know you can't take care of yourself without me. I told you I wouldn't bother you with anything anymore, right? All those apologies, those fake promises to me, they're all garbage. I would never live with a monster like you again, Baylor. I'm cutting ties with your useless ass, and it's going to make the kids and I feel so much happier. A few days after that, Baylor finally gave up trying to get me to come back home to him, and he signed all the divorce papers. He then went and handed it all into the courthouse, and the hell-filled relationship I had with him was over with. Of course, to the kids, he's still going to be their father, but they'll never have to live with a man-child like that again and are safe in my home. After the divorce, Baylor left that pigsty he made for himself and went back to his parents' house. But both of his parents heard about the reason why the divorce had taken place, so the moment he walked into their house, his mom told him to get lost. After that, his mom called me over the phone and apologized for all that her son had done, but I told her to stop all of that. Had she raised her son right and either made him responsible for his chores or kicked him out to live on his own, none of this would have happened to me. But it doesn't really matter to me now what happened in his life, as him and I are no longer married to one another. I've heard that recently, due to the terrible state of the house he's living in, Baylor's allergies have gotten worse and he's no longer able to go anywhere besides work in the house. I ended up getting many texts from him after the divorce about how he was sorry again and he was lonely without me and the kids, so I blocked him and got on with my life of being a mother. I don't give a crap what happens to my ex, just as long as he's able to keep paying child support to me for the next 15 years. That's the only thing I want from him now. Besides that, there will never be another instance of him and I sharing the same moment or anything together. When things come to myself in life after returning to my parents' house with the kids, I went and got myself a new job. Being a remote worker has its ups, but it also has plenty of downs, so I wanted to find a job that was a little more reliable. Right now, the job I found happens to understand the troubles of being a mother quite a lot, so I'm able to be at work as often as I can, while also having the freedom to head home at any moment for the kids. Luckily, with the support of my parents, though, I don't have to do any of that all too often. I am sure there will be plenty of difficult things to come for my family and I, but thankfully those next times will not include a jerk like Baylor. From now on, I'm going to do all that I can to make a home in which both my very important kids and my loving and supportive parents will all be happy, and I don't have to be as stressed as I was before.